New question, the Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, my question is for the President of the Treasury Board. As the days go by, so does the government abuse of government-funded advertising. And frankly, Mr. Speaker, they not only have abused it, they have more than doubled the government ad buy for this year. It's one thing to use Liberal Party funds to campaign. It's another thing to use taxpayer dollars. So, Mr. Speaker, my question is very direct to the President of the Treasury Board. Will they cancel the 5.5—
Stop the clock. Stop the clock. We're in warnings. We are in warnings. And if I sit down and it starts, I might name. Finish, please.
Mr. Speaker, clearly the Auditor General has said these are partisan ads that would not have been approved by her office. The question is, this latest $5.5 million ad buy, will you do the right thing and cancel these partisan ads?
Well, thank you very much, Speaker. And I want to talk a little bit about the process for government advertising, because there actually is a bulk media buy which is consolidated at my ministry. However, the process for approval is a ministry approaches Cabinet Office. Cabinet Office makes a maximum allocation. Treasury Board actually isn't party to that. But the figure that presumably the member is citing is the maximum allowable allocation. In order for the ads to ever go to air, they have to be approved according to the Government Advertising Act. And I would point out to people that we continue to be the only jurisdiction in Canada that has a government advertising.
Supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, again to the minister, $5.5 million may seem like nothing to a government that wastes billions, but these millions could have been spent on much more worthy purposes, helping people with a hydro bill, helping children who need services for autism. There are so many better uses than using taxpayer dollars to fund government advertising, to fund partisan ads. And so, let me ask this very direct question. Does the Treasury Board President believe it's appropriate to use taxpayer dollars for Liberal propaganda? Because that's exactly what they're doing. Are you on the side of taxpayers, or are you going to continue to ignore the Auditor General? Do the right thing. Cancel these partisan ads. Do the right thing. Make sure it's not charged to the taxpayers.
You seated, please. You seated, please. Thank you. President.
Well, I obviously—
Excuse me. Carry on.
I obviously don't agree that the advertising that we've supported over the year is partisan ad. Think of some of the advertising that we have done as a government. Think of the Who Will You Help campaign about sexual violence. And if you go to that particular advertising campaign, the video was viewed internationally. Video was viewed by over 7 million people in the first 10 days alone. Eventually generated more than 85 million views worldwide. But what's really interesting about that ad is that it actually changed public opinion. And what we set out to do with that was to change the attitude towards sexual violence. And in fact, that ad achieved that. We don't think that's partisan. We think that's good social.
Thank you. Final supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, my question is again to the minister. I'm talking about a $5.5 million hydro ad buy. And the Auditor General, you say they're not partisan. The Auditor General, the non-partisan legislative oversight, has said they are partisan. They would not have passed her office's approval, but you took that approval away. So rather than try to distract the public with a different ad campaign, be very clear. We're talking about these partisan hydro ads. Let me give you an example of something that would have been more of a worthy cause. The member for Nepean Carleton challenged the minister today that we could have used those funds on an opioid awareness. This is a real challenge. This is a real crisis. So will you accept the challenge from—
Stop. The member from Etobicoke North is warned. Carry on.
Mr. Speaker, will the minister accept the challenge from the member from Nepean Carleton, do the right thing, rather than have these partisan Liberal propaganda ads on hydro?
Question.
Will you use those funds for an opioid awareness campaign?
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you. Minister?
Well, Speaker, we use government funding for...
Stop the clock. Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs is warned. Carry on.
We do advertising for a variety of reasons, including extensive health things. Think about the campaigns about getting a flu shot. Think about the campaigns about Healthy Kids Community Challenge and quitting smoking. So yes, we do advertising about health, but we do advertising about a variety of things. Think about the climate change ads that we did, because unlike the people opposite, we actually think that climate change is one of the most serious problems facing us today as citizens of not just Ontario but citizens of the world. And that ad campaign again helped inform the public about the fact that climate change is real. It's not a myth.